The Catholic Archbishop of the Sokoto Diocese, the Most Reverend Matthew Kuka, has condemned the imposition of candidates by political parties. The cleric, who was a speaker at an event organized by the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja, described the practice as unjust and unfair to Nigerians who do not have a say in the affairs of the parties. Other speakers also condemned the politics of bitterness and urged lawyers to participate in the polls, not only as monitors, but also as voters.
How to ensure all-round success in the forthcoming elections is what brought these legal luminaries together. Just as issues of voter registration, electoral malpractices, and electoral violence has taken center stage in public discourse, this meeting was not any different. As speakers spoke on how to achieve success in next month's election, but not without condemning the imposition of candidates by political parties.
The political space has been occupied by very many people with undemocratic antecedents, many of whom have continued to threaten the very foundation of our existence and our democracy. No matter how well prepared the security agencies and INEC officials and ordinary people may be, these characters have a tendency to force their undemocratic tendencies on the system. In the process, the agencies concerned with elections are often powerless to enforce all the rules and regulations that they have conceived ahead of the elections.
Other speakers also took a swipe at politicians who engage in politics of bitterness.
Politicians must respect the fundamental rights of opponents and perceived opponents, particularly the right to life, freedom of speech, association, and the freedom to impart and disseminate ideas and knowledge. If we allow violence to stifle these rights, then we can say goodbye to our fledgling democracy.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association says monitoring of elections alone by the body will be of no good. He advises members of the bar to ensure they come out en masse to vote for candidates of their choice.
At this time, we must do more than just monitor. We must mobilize our people to vote. We must educate our people on the need for them to vote. And when we ask the question, the theme of this, are Nigerians ready? It is not that we are not asking is INEC ready. We are not asking is government ready. We are asking, are Nigerians ready to wake up and go and vote?
These legal experts also agree that security agencies should be well equipped to prevent situations that may hinder achieving a violence-free election next month.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, John Oyegun, says the passion to have a positive impact on the country has made its presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, stand for election again. Well, his comments come as the party's presidential campaign train moves to Osun State. Our correspondent Loretta Chiogo reports.
I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me.
In their numbers, the people of Osun turn up for the APC presidential campaign in Osogbo, the state capital.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions.
As usual, party leaders take turns to speak in Yoruba language to the people, trying to convince them of the reason the APC should be a force to reckon with at the polls. It is a turn of the national chairman of the APC, John Oyegun, to speak. He says it is clear that General Muhammadu Buhari has passion to move the country forward.
This man, Muhammadu Buhari, a man of courage, a man of principle, a man who can see where others cannot see, a man who all his life, his one passion, and that is why he kept contesting the election, to call attention to the ills of the country, to the evils that beset the country.
General Buhari retains his agenda to fight corruption if he wins the election.
I've got an emphasis to make on the vicious circle we found ourselves as Nigeria. The circle of insecurity, unemployment, and the corruption. The APC is determined to break this vicious cycle.
The electorate here are challenged to pick up their permanent voters' card, their power to make a choice for the next 4 years. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Well, indeed, it's election season and political realignment in the build-up to the elections in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, continue as the Social Democratic Party has been formally launched in Abeokuta, the state capital. The event held at the Ake Palace ground, and it witnessed the official declaration of different candidates representing the party in next month's elections. Addressing party supporters, the leader of the party and former governor of the state, Olusegun Oshoba, challenged supporters to commit to the success of the party.
Party officials and supporters from the 20 local government areas of Ogun State converge on the Ake Palace ground. The occasion is the official launch and formal presentation of the 7-point program of action of the Social Democratic Party. According to the elders of the party, the SDP remains committed to the well-being of the people, equity, accountability, and good governance of Nigeria.
The purpose of our own organization is to serve the common people of this country. We inherited that from our leader, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and anybody or any group claiming to be the full offspring of Awolowo, who is not in SDP, is no follower of Awolowo.
In his address, former governor of Ogun State and leader of the party in the state challenges the party's supporters to work hard and ensure the success of the SDP in the elections.
You must go out and canvass for at least five voters in your neighborhood outside your family. Are you ready or not? Are you ready or not?
The party thereafter presents candidates for its various elective positions, both at the Senate and national levels, to the public. They include its governorship candidate, Senator Akin Odunsin, who is currently representing Ogun West Senatorial District, and his deputy, the current deputy governor of the state, Prince Segun Adesegun.
A group of young professionals has echoed the call for politicians to shun violence by urging youths to resist pressure from anyone to use them to foment trouble. The Young Professionals Forum says youths have suffered neglect from the political class since independence, though they make up a huge chunk of the voting population. The chairman of the forum, Mr. Moses Siasia, told young people to vote leaders who are interested in their development.
Ahead of the February elections, this group of Nigerian youths converged to brainstorm on how to mobilize their peers to vote leaders who recognize their potentials in the society. According to members of the group, they are the ones affected by broken promises of the ruling class, even though the youths have the population and the social media to cause the needed change in government.
The youths of this country are worse hit by a generation of broken promises. We've seen hopes dashed, opportunities mortgaged, steady steps towards development compromised. The reason why we are here is because we have to take a stand as young people in this country. We have 75 to 80% of the population of Nigeria are young people, about 80 million people. And that is the reason why we're here, because we have the population strength. We have the instrument of effective propaganda. We own the social media.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Nigerian Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, warns against using the social media for divisive purposes ahead of the elections.
The young people of this generation have something the previous generations didn't have: social media. It can liberate you, it can decimate you. Now, the question is, do we want to extract liberation from it, or do we want to extract destruction from it? We've got to make that call, we've got to make that choice, and then we've got to see how it works. And it seems to me we can use social media to help build our country rather than help foster division in the country. At the moment, my own view is that social media a lot of young people are using social media for destructive ends.
The group also warned members against politicians who instigate them to embark on violence before, during and after the elections in February.
As we go into the general election, it is very important. People are fanning the ambience of war. People are making incisive statements. People are saying that if we don't get it, Nigeria will not be won. If we don't get it, there will be bloodbath, and all that. So we are bringing young people that it is our future. We knew what, countries like Rwanda, Yugoslavia, they went through during the war. So nobody should come and jeopardize our future. It is our future.
It's just about 1 month to the February polls. Several groups like this one have continued to call on politicians and their supporters for a peaceful political transition.
Away from politics now, the 2015 budget of 4.3 trillion naira has passed the crucial second reading at the Senate and the House of Representatives. However, lawmakers in the Senate described it as a deficit budget which is grossly exaggerated. The lawmakers in the upper chamber also expressed concern that in the face of declining oil prices, the country may not be able to finance its capital and recurrent expenditure. Our correspondent Linda Akigbe reports.
It's 1 month to the 2015 general elections, and federal lawmakers in the Senate and the House of Representatives are in a race to retain their seats. Although the lawmakers are engaging in electioneering, they are required to perform their constitutional duties, one of which is working on the 2015 budget. And this they did at Wednesday's legislative proceedings. The 2015 budget is put at 4.3 trillion naira, with a recurrent expenditure of 2.6 trillion naira and capital expenditure of 627 billion naira. But lawmakers in the Senate were highly critical of the 2015 budget. With a decline in price of oil in the international market, which has gone lower than the revised benchmark price of crude at $65 per barrel, lawmakers are worried that the country may have a deficit budget.
I have not seen in this document whereby this country intends to diversify in the minings, diversify in agriculture.
A federal lawmaker, Senator Olubunmi Adetumbi, expressed concern that the Senate committees on finance and appropriation would find it difficult to work on the 2015 budget, and he gave reasons.
We all know that the price for oil as we speak, like my colleague has mentioned, is in the order of $45, $46 per barrel. Therefore, the budget we are sending to committees is in deficit of $28 per barrel of money that will not come, and the expenditure that we are asking them to review.
Some lawmakers also condemned the withdrawal of funds from the excess crude accounts without appropriation from the National Assembly, and also the refusal of government agencies to remit funds to the Federation account.
For us, I'm celebrating the fall in the price of oil, because it is sending Nigerians back to the era we will have to earn and consume what we generate. Because there is no point allowing the governor of the central bank, the National Communications Commission, the Nigerian Port Authority, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, which is even said to be buying warship, that is rich enough to buy warship, to have and generate the money and keep without putting it into the Federation account.
In the House of Representatives, federal lawmakers also expressed reservations about the 2015 budget and the need for diversification.
I think I was very cautious working with the committees of the finance of the National Assembly to determine a realistic oil price benchmark and therefore determine what expenditures to do.
The budget passed second reading in the Senate and the House of Representatives and was sent to the respective committees for further legislative work. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, our community report looks at how Nkano community has been grappling with bad roads for years. Please join us again.